24-year-old novice boxer Jake Paul engages in a war of words with one of the most powerful men in the MMA world, the UFC president, pulling millions of viewers to his attention. Brock Lesnar claimed he should have been paid more in the UFC, and many more amazing events have been happening recently in the MMA world. Stick to this video till the end. Jake Paul urges McGregor to step up in helping his fellow fighters make more money and get better healthcare. Says, when are you gonna start playing your part? After the win of Israel Adesanya in the rematch against Robert Whittaker at the UFC 271 this past weekend, Conor McGregor took to Twitter to praise his management agency while also congratulating Israel Adesanya on his title defense and for the new deal, a very lucrative multi-fight contract with the UFC. The management agency called Paradigm manages both champions, and McGregor in his tweet claimed that both the last style bender, Israel Adesanya, and himself are the highest paid fighters on the UFC roster. Congrats Paradigm Sports Management Agency, number 1 and 2 highest paid on the UFC roster contractually, myself and Izzy. An excellent feather in the cap of an amazing sports agency. At Paradigm Sports, congrats to all my team and a big congrats last night Israel, he tweeted. Jake Paul, responding to Conor McGregor's tweet, claimed that Tyson Fury still makes more money than both champions combined and also urged McGregor to step up and play his part in helping his fellow UFC fighters get better pay and healthcare. He tweeted, "Indeed, well deserved for Izzy, but unfortunately, Tyson Fury still makes more than both of you combined for fighting. Conor, when you gonna start playing your part to get all fighters better pay and healthcare?" Jake Paul has been so concerned about making better pay and healthcare for fighters recently and hasn't even gone as far as reaching Dana White, UFC president, and saying that he wants to start a fighters union. Jake Paul, also a YouTuber, released a diss track aimed at Dana White on YouTube, which attracted over 2 million views in 3 days. Paul claims several UFC fighters are supporting his actions privately. Yes, there are a lot of fighters, a lot of big fighters in the UFC message me saying, "We love this, keep on going, but I can't support this publicly. I don't want them to sacrifice. They have to put food on their family's table," Paul said, speaking on the MMA Hour. The problem child, Jake Paul, said he is investing in the Endeavor Group, which is UFC's parent company, in an attempt to help fighters earn more in the octagon and get better healthcare. This public criticism of the UFC has caused Paul to be involved in a war of words with the UFC president, who challenged the 24-year-old boxer to launch his MMA promotion if he thinks he can do a better job. What can you make out of this outspoken criticism of Jake Paul? Do you think he has a point? Leave a comment in the comment section below. Brock Lesnar believes he was underpaid in the UFC. Says, "I should have got paid more." Brock Lesnar is a renowned champion when it comes to the fighting game, both in the worlds of professional fighting and wrestling and mixed martial arts (MMA). Lesnar, the former heavyweight champion, has become the next big thing in the WWE ring long before he ever got into the UFC's octagon. He became the youngest WWE champion at the age of 25. He got into the MMA in 2007 and won in a debut against Min Soo Kim with a first-round technical knockout at Dynamite USA, and in just a year was already working for Dana White, UFC president. It is quite unbelievable to see the great feats Brock Lesnar was able to do in a short time of fighting in the MMA world in just only 8 MMA fights. He became the heavyweight champion in just his 4th professional fight, and this made him one of the biggest superstars in UFC history. Although Lesnar was one of the highest paid fighters when he was in the UFC, he still believes that he was underpaid when compared to the salary of some of the top boxers. Brock Lesnar took home $2.5 million in his latest return at UFC 200 against Mark Hunt, but he thinks he was underpaid in the promotion. When asked to compare Dana White and the WWE CEO McMahon wins on the Pat McAfee show, Lesnar said that his time with McMahon was much different from how he dealt with White. He said, "I really can't compare the two guys. Honestly, my relationship with Vince is so different from it is with Dana over the years. Vince and I have had a long love and hate relationship for the last 20 years, but it's been good. We have a lot of water under the bridge. I have a lot of respect for both. But dealing with Dana, it's just a totally different business approach. I met Vince when I was younger. I look at Vince more as a father figure actually, because I've learned a lot of things from him and I was able to carry those things over and handle business with Dana. Vince is a self-made person, so is Dana. Took the company and made it public. He added,
hey, what's it like dealing with Dana White? What's your relationship like with him? I guess from back then up until now, you guys close?
Yeah, Dana's all right. I mean, he's paid. I've got a lot of money from him. You know,
you made a lot of money for him.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I probably should have got paid more. Maybe.
Well, that's a big conversation around the UFC. Whenever you do business outside the WWE, and everybody calls Dana basically a spitting image of Vince, just in a different fight game. Do you agree with that?
I don't know. I really can't compare the two guys. They're just so. I mean, honestly, my relationship with Vince is so different than it is with Dana over the years. Vince and I have had a love-hate relationship for, the last 20 years, but it's been good. We've got a lot of water under the bridge. I have a lot of respect for both men. But things dealing with Dana and it's just a totally different
You met
business
Vince when you were younger.
I met Vince when I was younger. I look at Vince more as a father figure, actually, because I've learned a lot of things from him.
He also went on to say that Dana is alright and he got a lot of money from him, although he should have got paid more. What can you say about Brock Lesnar's claim? Should the former heavyweight champion have been paid more? Hunter Boone sustains a head injury, blames it on a cage malfunction. Something devastating happened at a regional event, Martial Combat League 3 in Shawnee, Oklahoma on Saturday. Hunter Boone sustained a serious injury on his head in a fight against Jordan Brown. The fight lasted only 17 seconds as when Brown took the amateur MMA fighter Boone down with an early takedown. Hunter's head hit an exposed cage bracket, resulting in a massive tear on the top of his head. It is said that the injury would require 17 staples to close the wound. Hunter Boone and his team blamed for the injury, saying that it was due to a cage malfunction. The promotion, Martial Combat League, stated on Sunday that the cage was well inspected before the event and after the incident. Since there was a malfunction found, the rest of the card was allowed to proceed. Dustin Poirier disdains Covington. I'll never fight Colby in an octagon. If I fight Colby, we're both going to jail, he says. Dustin Poirier, the former interim lightweight champion, said he would never fight Colby Covington in an octagon due to a personal disdain he has toward him. Both were once teammates at the American Top Team, and Covington was expelled from ATT after his trash talk ruffled feathers in the gym with many fighters. Dustin told the reporters at UFC 271 event that he would only fight Covington if it would be outside the octagon.
I'll never fight Colby in an octagon where there's finances on the line. If I fight Colby, we're both going to jail. I'm going to jail. I'm not going to fight him in the octagon. He's not making money off of my career and what I've done. This is something different, You will never see me fight Colby Covington in the UFC.
Covington, who currently trains at MMA Masters in Miami, is scheduled to fight an ex-ATT teammate and roommate, Jorge Masvidal, in what is said to be a heated grudge match in the UFC 272 main event on March 5th. Dustin Poirier is rooting for Jorge and wants him to win. Would Jorge win in this rivalry match against Covington? What are your predictions? I want to know. Tai Tuivasa knocks out Derek Lewis, gets Dana White to do his signature Shoiwasa. At the UFC 271 pre-fight conference, Tai Tuivasa expected the UFC president Dana White to drink beer from his new signature product in front of the fans as he gifted White and the rest of the fighters on the stage a Shoiwasa. Dana didn't get around fulfilling this request but wouldn't let Dana White off the hook. After his knockout win over Derek Lewis in the co-main event on Saturday, Tai Tuivasa went again to White and finally got him to drink the beer from the Shoiwasa.
Ready? Turn it. Let's go there.
Like this video and subscribe to this channel if you are yet to. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can be notified when more content like this one are uploaded. See you in the next video. Goodbye.